Mike Roberts might have a point with.
This is now his third appearance in the last 4 games when you go back to the Saturday win over Hyannis. Submarine Slinger can just go out there. He's got a rubber arm. Most appearances out of this Cotuit bullpen this season. Runner on, nobody out. Here's the 0-2. DeMarco takes just off the plate for ball 1. Mike Roberts yelling from the dugout there, throw it up high, we'll get it.
Hoping the calls are returned.
The 1-2. He threw it high, but that one also 2 outside. 2-2 now on DeMarco, center fielder from Bandy, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today, walked back in the 4th inning. It's Martinez on first with a little broken bat single to left. Schock's 2-2. Hard ground ball off of Schock's glove. He will chase it down, shovel it onto first base in time for out number 1. Boy, that could have been a chance to double up the runner. But a good job by Schock to recover a line shot that goes off the end of his mitt. It goes off on the left side of the mound toward the first base bag, and he gets it for the 1-3 putout.
That was a very nice recovery from Stephen Schock. And it's interesting to see Ryan Reynolds over at second. Back in high school, he did play second base. He split his time between second and third. So I'm sure he told Mike Roberts that, and he looks pretty good out there in second base. Now he is more of a corners infielder figure, but he can play it.
First pitch from Schock is a called strike at the knees of J.J. Blade. 1 out and a man on second in Martinez. Brady Smith taking Ryan Reynolds' place at third base. First time that Smith has played there. Utility man that's caught a few times this season. There's a fly ball in the left center gap from Blade. Burdick will come on to make the catch. 2 down here in the 8th. Stephen Schock settling in. And now the number 3 batter who's done damage today for Orleans, Carter Aldretti from Arizona State. 2 home runs in his first 2 plate appearances, a solo shot with 2 outs in the first, and then a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. Part of this Orleans attack that has got a 7-5 lead on Cotuit here in the 8th. Schock's first pitch to him. Dipping fastball for strike 1 over the plate. 3 lead changes in this one. A 1-0 lead for Orleans turned into a 4-1 lead for Cotuit after the second. Firebirds tied it up halfway through the 3rd with a 3 spot of their own. Then the Kettleers took the lead back for a second time with 1 run in the 4th. And then a 3 spot thanks to Phil Clark's home run in the 5th made it 7-5 Orleans. The 0-1 ripped by Aldretti just outside the foul line on the left side. A big foul ball. As the Kettleers catch a break, that would have made it an 8-5 game. Aldretti, nice frame. He wears number 9, big fella, batting from the right side, 6'2", 205 pounds. Drafted in the 37th round of the 2016 draft by the Boston Red Sox. Runner on second for him here with 2 outs. 2-strike pitch popped up in foul territory on the right side. Tolia will get over. He will make the catch. And that's the 3rd and final out of the inning. So Stephen Schock works around a leadoff base hit and retires a side here in the 8th. We head to the bottom of 8. Kettleers need some runs. They trail 7-5 against Orleans. This is Cotuit Kettleers baseball here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Kettleers down by 2 runs to the Orleans Firebirds. 7-5 your score, and a new pitcher on for Orleans, their third of the afternoon. It is Nick Osborne, the two-way player who is the designated hitter as well today for the Firebirds out of Tennessee Tech. He gets the call on the mound, 6'2", 205 pounds, a rising senior from Cookeville, Tennessee. He'll be into this game contributing his pitching. And the first batter he faces is Ryan Reynolds, who takes a ball outside, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 8-9-1 set to hit in this inning for the Kettleers. Reynolds, Oviedo, and then Robertson. High fly ball from Reynolds, deep to right center field. Goodbye, first home run of the season, Ryan Reynolds. And all of a sudden, this game down to 1. A leadoff solo jack from Reynolds, and the Kettleers down 7-6 here in the 8th.
Well, that didn't take long. Good way to welcome Nick Osborne into the game. And Ryan Reynolds, we've been waiting to see his power, and there we saw his power. It's 397 to straightaway center. That one just a little off to the right. A nice solo shot. Just like that, it's a totally new ball game. Just down 1. All it takes is one swing of the bat to tie this one up.
Reynolds registering the 6th run of the game for Cotuit. The 6th hit of the ball game, a big one. The solo home run, and all of a sudden, Cotuit with some life. They're down by 1 here in the 8th. Nick Osborne on the mound. And now Adam Oviedo at the plate with a 1-0 count. Here's a windup in the pitch. Ovi sends a fly ball out on the right side, foul. So Ryan Reynolds, his first home run as a Cotuit Kettleer. And that's a nice day for him. He's driven in 3 of the Cotuit 6 runs, 2 sac flies earlier, now a solo home run. The 1-1. Oviedo, curveball, taken on the outside for ball 2. Much easier now for Cotuit. This game cut down to a 1-run deficit. The 2-1 to Ovi. Fastball, catches the outside corner. It ran off the plate. Called strike, a 2-2 count now. Phil Clark getting some praise from the dugout. Good work as he framed the last one. 2-2, foul ball, Oviedo, no, drop third strike. It gets way away from Phil Clark. The throw comes on late, and Oviedo able to leg out and drop third strike there. So now the Kettleers will have a man on, and a potential go-ahead run coming to the plate, Will Robertson.
Nice job from Oviedo there, legging that one out. Taking advantage, Phil Clark was hearing some praise from the dugout, but that time a mistake as he lets it spill through his legs. Oviedo takes advantage, and now Cotuit could tie this one up or take the lead.
Osborne from the stretch. First pitch to Robertson, blind on the right side, but just foul. Went over Logan Wyatt at first base. Will was right ahead of that one, and now he'll need a new back. Looked like he shattered a piece of it maybe on that last hit, and all it amounts to is an 0-1 count. So Oviedo strikes out, but advances to first on the drop third strike. Base runner here for Cotuit, representing the potential tying run. 7-6, top of the 8th. Reynolds led off the inning with a solo home run, his first of the season. Robertson will retrieve a new bat from the third base dugout and get set to dig in. With runners on base this season, Will, a .394 batter coming into today with a home run and 12 driven in 33 at-bats. One of the best marks on the team. He shows bunt here and pops one up straight behind the plate, but will loop in front of Phil Clark, who won't be able to track it down. That's strike 2. Oviedo on first after the drop third strike. Nick Osborne on the mound. The two-way player for Orleans, who's come into this ball game surrendering the run to Reynolds and trying to preserve a 1-run lead. Kettleers looking for a comeback at home. Here's a pick over to first. Oviedo dives in safely. He's got the TCU purple dog tag outside of his front jersey dangling as he takes his lead. The 0-2. Pop fly out of play behind home plate. Sun is setting here in Cotuit. 1-run deficit. What do the Kettleers have left in the tank? Here's another throw over to first. Activity in the Orleans bullpen. Joey Lancelotti, the right-hander, is stretching and tossing out there in right field. Osborne paying a lot of attention to Oviedo at first, another pick over. As Ovi will try and dust himself off after another head-first slide. Wyatt holding on first. The 0-2. Robertson swinging a miss, another drop third strike, but it won't matter. With the runner on first base, that's the first out of the inning. A chance for Michael Tolia. 1 out and a man on in the top of the 8th. The Kettleers down 7-6. Tolia today, he's reached base 3 times in 4 plate appearances. 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a run scored, and a walk his last time up. First pitch from Osborne. Hit in the air, in the gap, left center field. It will get down in front of the left fielder, Frazier. That's a 1-out base knock for Tolia. Oviedo moves up to second base, and the Kettleers with 2 runners on for Thomas Dillard.
Good slice from Tolia. We've seen so much of the power lately, but today showing off how he can slice it into the outfield. He has 3 singles today. All of them have been nice little pokes, kind of like that. Now the Kettleers really in business. You got to get a run here. Down by a run, just 1 out. You got a runner in scoring position and 2 power guys, and Dillard and Burdick coming up.
Time called on the diamond. Kelly Nicholson, the Orleans manager, will walk slowly from the first base dugout. It will be a mound visit, potentially a pitching change here. Nick Osborne, the right-hander, on. Kelly Nicholson signals to right field. He will go to the bullpen. The Kettleers down by 1 after Reynolds, the solo home run here in the 8th. 2 runners on with 1 out, and a new pitcher coming on for Orleans. We'll be back with the change and the rest of this inning. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. New pitcher on for the Orleans Firebirds. It's a right-hander, number 27, Aaron Oceanbine out of Eastern Kentucky University. 6'3", 225 pounds, a rising senior that hails from Dunbar High School, Richmond, Kentucky. That's Madison County. And there are 2 runners on for the Cotuit Kettleers here in the top of the 8th inning. Just 1 out, and Thomas Dillard at the plate. Ryan Reynolds started things off here with a leadoff solo home run to cut it down to 1. And the Kettleers with a chance against the Orleans bullpen.
A big chance here. Oceanbine's been mighty fine this year. A good stopper out of the bullpen for this late, short inning work. And he'll have his work cut out for him. Dillard, I know, is itching for a hit. He's 0 for 4 today. And he'll be batting from the left side here, his preferred side, with 2 runners on. You get Burdick coming up, Humphreys who's swinging a good bat. A good spot for the Kettleers here as the sun continues to set, getting a little darker at Lowell Park. So if the Kettleers are going to get a little rally in, they better get it in quick.
There's only a few trees out in right field that still have some yellow on them from the sun reflecting. Everything else pretty dark as the sun going down behind the tree line. Of course, no lights here at Lowell Park. And a potential tie, maybe. They might not have enough time for this one to go to extras, but the Kettleers would love to jump out into a lead right now. The time is 7:42 Eastern Time. Started this game at 5. Lots of scoring, lots of pitching change. And here we are in the 8th. Kettleers trying to beat the sun, trying to beat the Firebirds. 2 runners on. Thomas Dillard at the plate. Oceanbine, the pitcher, the right-hander from Eastern Kentucky. Dillard will dig in, switch hitter who still bats from the left side. Play ball is the call from the home plate umpire, and here we go. First pitch hit in the air, straight away to center, sinking ball, it's down, base knock. Oviedo will be held up at third base. The throw comes in from DeMarco in center field, cut off by Wyatt, and there will be bases loaded and just one out for Peyton Burdick.
Good knock. Keep the line moving. This has been where the Kettleers have struggled. One out, bases loaded. They've left the bases loaded twice today, twice yesterday. It's time to break that spell. Let's see what Bird can do.
Bases are loaded for Cotuit. Only one out. The single from Dillard to center. Oviedo held up at third. From the stretch, Oceanbine. First pitch, outside with a fastball, ball one. Burdick on the day. He's had a good one. RBI double in the first, 2 consecutive walks his last 2 times up. Athletic left fielder with the open stance. 1-0, fastball wild in the other batter's box. It sent Phil Clark tumbling, and it's a 2-0 count to Bird. Kettleers on the verge. Can they break through? A 7-6 ball game in the 8th. Reynolds with the solo home run to get him halfway there. Oceanbine comes set, closed off from the stretch. The 2-0, swing and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Little pink clouds trailing off in the distance beyond the center field trees. Sun setting at Lowell Park, no lights late in this one. Bases loaded, one out, the 2-1 pitch. Fastball that dives down low. He missed it. 3 balls and a strike on Birdie.
Do your job here. Don't try to do too much. If the pitch isn't yours, take it, because another ball and the Kettleers will tie it up.
Burdick ready for a 3-1. Oceanbine set. Here's his pitch. He missed badly. Walks with the bases loaded, and we're knotted up at 7 in the 8th.
Great patience there from Burdick. Some high fastballs outside. Could be tempting to lean in and try and knock one, but he does his job, and now the Kettleers in a golden spot. All tied up, and Zach Humphreys will try to give them the lead.
Burdick drawing his 3rd walk of the day. This one comes with the bases loaded, and the Kettleers have tied the game 7 apiece, 1 out still in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now Mike Roberts will go to his bench. Zach Humphreys was due up. He goes back into the dugout. It looks like a pinch hitter is due to come on. And there will be a pinch hitter. Zach Bierman out of the dugout, getting loose. Takes a couple of practice swings beyond the dugout. Getting loose as Zach Humphreys will be lifted here in the bottom of the 8th. Second pinch hitter that Mike Roberts has used today. It's Bierman who comes on. Will now be batting in the 5th spot. The bases are loaded. Peyton Burdick walks. 1 run comes home to score in Oviedo. How big does that drop 3rd strike look? That's how he got on base. And a tie ball game at 7. Oceanbine comes set. Looks at 3rd. First pitch to Bierman. Line shot over into left center field. Kettleers back in front. Tolia comes home to score. Dillard is in as well. A throw comes in late. RBI double from Zach Bierman. 2 runs come home. Cotuit 9-7 over Orleans.
Only needed to see 1 pitch there. A beautiful knock. Alpo into left field, driving in 2. And finally, the Kettleers break through with the bases loaded. A good spot to put in Zach Bierman there. He thrives in those situations with runners on scoring position. And what an inning for the Kettleers, finally pouncing on these Orleans Firebirds. What a wild one.
Bierman comes up big. Off the bench, the pinch hit 2-run RBI double. And now an intentional walk will be issued to Duke Ellis with first base open. Oceanbine throwing into the other batter's box to the left-handed bat in Ellis. And he'll try and load up the bases for Brady Smith and have the force at either bag, any bag. Still just 1 out. Kettleers have broken through finally. With the bases loaded, they take a 9-7 lead. This all started with the solo home run from Ryan Reynolds to make it a 7-6 ball game. Burdick's walk with the bases loaded, tying things up at 7. And then the 2-run double from pinch hitter Zach Bierman coming in clutch to make it a 9-7 game. There's the intentional walk to Ellis. He's down at first base. And now the bases are loaded once more, as it is Brady Smith, another pinch hitter who came into the last frame up at the plate. Oceanbine set. First pitch gets away from Clark. Coming home, Burdick. He'll slide in under the tag. Burdick comes home to score on a wild pitch. And Cotuit charging it up here in the 8th. That's 5 runs that have come home, a 10-7 lead.
Great opportunistic base running that time. 9 guys out of 10 don't go there, but Burdick's got the speed, flying in like Superman. Nice head first slide under the tag, just as you're taught. What an inning for the Kettleers. Just lovely to see them breaking through.
Ellis will move up to second, Bierman to third. Still 1 out, and now Brady Smith at the plate, a 1-0 count. Orleans infield in on the grass. Oceanbine's 1-0. Fastball way low in the zone, 2-0 on Smith.
And Oceanbine struggling with the control. Smart of Brady Smith, just let him pitch. Orleans pitching its way out of this game.
The 2-0 hit in the air, shallow right center field. DeMarco charging on. That ball will drop. It drops. Bierman comes home to score. The throw to third gets past Levy. And here comes Ellis as well. 2 more runs are in for the Kettleers. It's a Firebirds implosion here in the 8th. 7 home for the Kets, 12-7 your score.
Wasn't it 7-5 Orleans about 5 minutes ago? Wow, look at that. I mean, credit Cotuit, great hitting, and Brady Smith dropping it into his zone, and then, as you said, the Firebird implosion, a bad throw to third, opportunistic base running all around, and Cotuit now just pouring it on. You love to see it. It feels like they're letting out a lot of the pent-up offensive struggles now with 12 runs on 10 hits. What an outburst, and now they bat around the order.
2 more come around. That was a single from Smith. He moves up to second on a bad throw that got behind Justin Levy at third base. Now Ryan Reynolds, and a fastball runs in on him for ball 1. Switch hitter batting from the left side here. He started this inning with a solo home run to make it a 7-6 ball game. Now it's a 12-7 Cotuit lead with just 1 out still. Oceanbine's 1-0. He missed again, 2-0. How about Ryan Reynolds? Kettleers batting around in this inning. Still just 1 out. The 2-0. Way upstairs at the helmet. Oceanbine needs some help, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any. He's down on the count 3-0. He'll try and wipe the sweat off his brow, take off the cap and take a long walk off the mound and take a deep breath. No activity in the Orleans bullpen. This inning started with Nick Osborne, who gave up the solo home run to Reynolds, who's at the plate right now. The 3-0, 4-pitch walk. And now time called. 2 runners on now for Cotuit. They lead 5 runs ahead of the Orleans Firebirds. 12-7, a 7-run 8th inning with the sun setting down, and now Adam Oviedo will come to the plate.
We've said something happens when these 2 teams get together, and this time it's a 7-run inning, and it could be more. Again, just 1 out. Still 2 runners on for Oviedo, and I see no reason why this rally could be cut short.
2 runners on, 1 out. Here's Ovi again. First pitch to him. Fastball away for ball 1. Hey, you know what they say, though? Everything gets hotter when the sun goes down.
Yep.
To the tune of 7 runs here in the 8th. The 1-0. Way upstairs. Oceanbine can't find the zone.
Do they say it, or do you and Kenny Chesney say it? I think we have to adjust our definition of they.
That's what we're all going to be saying here in Cotuit by the end of this one. The 2-0. Obi takes a strike on the outside corner. Much needed for Oceanbine. The right-hander coming in, and it's been an absolute disaster for him. Now 4 errors for Orleans today. Here's a 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. Kettleers up 12-7. Boy, how did we get here? We knew they needed a comeback. It would be telling. Could they prove their mettle? And sure enough, they do. They led a couple of times today, giving up the lead after Phil Clark's 3-run home run back in the 5th, 7-5. Ryan Reynolds sparking it with the solo home run. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball. That's out number 2.
And now 2 of the, it's hard to call it a pure comeback when you're down 2, but 2 good comebacks for Cotuit this year. Both against Orleans, the first back on June 20th, down 4-0 in the 7th. 5 spot in the 7th. Next thing you know, the Kettleers win that one. Here, the 7th spot to just be up 5.
Fastball runs inside on Robertson, who's back at the plate for the 2nd time this inning. He made the first out with a swinging strikeout. Robertson with 2 runners on, 2 outs. Hammered straight at the shortstop, and Sal Gazzo, who makes the catch right on the line for the final out of the inning. But the Kettleers score a touchdown here in the 8th. 7 runs put up to take a 12-7 lead over Orleans, heading to the 9th. And just like that, all Cotuit needs is 3 more outs to take home a win. We'll be right back with the 9th inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Ninth inning, and the Kettleers need just 3 more outs to cap a comeback at home against the Orleans Firebirds. 12-7, Cotuit on top. It will be Orleans to send up Wyatt, Osborne, and Clark here in this inning. Steven Schock on for the last 3 outs. The sidearm slinger deals in a fastball on the outside. Want to know the count on Logan Wyatt. How about a 7-run 8th inning for the Cotuit Kettleers? 7 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left at the end of it. There's a fastball down the heart of the plate from Schock. 1-1 the count. One pitch, nice fastball spotted on the outside corner. 1-2. The Kettleers trying to make it 3 wins over Orleans this season. They got their 2nd in comeback fashion. Down 4-0 for the latter part of that game, and they came back and won 5-4, a 5-run 7th. As a 1-2 from Schock is up and away on Wyatt. They come up with a 7-run 8th here. Pretty unbelievable how the Kettleers have just done it to the Firebirds. They've had their number. No other way around it. The 2-2 ripped into right field by Wyatt, although that ball will find its way foul. About 12 feet outside the line.
7 runs in an inning. Have not seen that this year. Just so impressive. The mettle of this team, so easy to get frustrated.
The 2-2 from Schock, outside.
It's so easy to get frustrated with leaving the bases loaded and all these close missed opportunities, but then rallying for 7 runs on 5 hits is just mighty impressive.
Full count offering. He missed it outside, and it is a leadoff walk to Logan Wyatt. You never want to do that, but the Kettleers up by 5 runs here in the 9th. The sun's setting at Lowell Park. It's getting pretty dark down on the field with no lights. That sun is behind the trees. We have not had a game really run this long here at home. Almost 3 hours since first pitch at 5 o'clock. It's 7:58.
All the runs, a few stoppages for injury, a lot of pitching changes. It adds up.
Here's Nick Osborne. Chopper left side charging in Reynolds. He's not going to be able to make a play. That ball took a bad hop on him at the last moment. And now there'll be 2 Firebird runners on with nobody out here in the 9th.
All right, now you got to be careful. You can't totally check out a 5-run lead. I'm not saying anyone checked out, but you got to lock in here. You got to get the outs. Just because you had the 7-run inning doesn't mean this one's over. That was a weird bounce, though. I wonder if there was a divot or something in the sand, in the infield dirt. Because Reynolds had a good beat on it. He knows how to play it over at third, and then it just hopped in the opposite direction.
Mike Roberts yelling from the dugout saying, hey, you're up 5. Make sure we get an out. Just play straight up. That's what the Kettleers will do. Here's the first pitch to Phil Clark. Chopper, right side. Corey Wood at second base takes it. He'll go 4-3 to first, and there's one down in the inning.
Yeah, that's smart. You just need the outs. If you now runners on second and third, you'll take a run for an out when you're up 5. So no need for the infield to play in. Just play your position and get the remaining 2 outs. And Cotuit will probably come out on top.
Now Justin Levy, 2 runners in scoring position for Orleans, 1 out. Cotuit up 12-7. A couple of defensive changes for the Kettleers. It's Wood who's at second base, Corey Wood. First pitch fouled off on the left side from Levy. And Eric Jones is now the catcher behind the plate. So Zach Bierman no longer in the game, but his heroics with the 2-run double as a pinch hitter, giving the Kettleers a 9-7 lead. Brady Smith also out of the game, who had a 2-run single. One of those runs came home to score on an error. The 0-1 hooked in there. Nice submarine delivery there from Schock. An 0-2 count now on Levy. Schock looks in, nods at the sign from Eric Jones. The 2-strike pitch. He whipped it outside off speed, 1-2. Boy, it really is getting dark here at Lowell Park. You can see the white jerseys that the Kettleers wear. They just look even darker.
They look almost bluish.
Mm-hmm. Everybody straight up defensively. 2 runners in scoring position. The 1-2. Tails way outside. A 2-2 count now on Levy.
In hindsight, lucky that Cotuit tacked on those 5 runs, because if this was a 7-7 game right now, it would almost certainly end in a tie. Can only play for so long here in the dark.
2-2 called, strike 3. Got him on that outside corner. Steven Schock strikes out Justin Levy, looking backwards, Kay, for out number 2 here in the 9th. Well, it's been a wild day. Wild day at Lowell Park. The 3rd game between these 2 sides. Orleans actually swept Cotuit last season 3-0. It's Cotuit who's looking to clinch a season series over the Firebirds with 4 games set. First pitch grounded on the right side from Frazier. Tolia at first, tosses to Schock, who gets to the bag in time. That's out number 3. That's your ball game. Tolia and Reynolds jumping up in the air, celebrating behind the mound. The outfielders come together in center, and it's Cotuit who takes this one at home. 12-7, a victory over the Orleans Firebirds. Make it 3 on the season against the Birds. And now the Kettleers get back over 500. A big comeback sparked by the 7-run 8th inning.
Man, what a job for Cotuit. This team, you know, it's hard in a summer league sometimes like this. You get guys from all corners of the country, sometimes playing on rivals, of different schools, and they've got to come together and form a team. And now we're seeing Cotuit start to gel as a team, seeing the celebrations in the infield and outfield, the high five line. This team looks like a real team, and they played like it today. I mean, it was a back and forth game. They fought a lot of adversity, some tough innings, leaving runners on base, giving up 3 home runs. But at the end of the day, a 7-run 8th inning, you're not going to lose a lot of games where you score 7 runs in an inning. And Cotuit closed phenomenally today, and now 3-0 on the season on Orleans.
Cotuit closes the book on this game, 12-7, a victory over Orleans. We will wrap it up, all the stats, the breakdown, the recap. When we come back, our post-game wrap. Our coverage of Cotuit Kettleers baseball continues, a 12-7 win over Orleans here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Boom, baby, let's do that. Let's do it. What do we leave on base? 11. They left. Good job, Bailey. Way to land the airplane. Thanks, Bailey. Thanks. Checked up. Oh, that's gonna sound ugly at the lights.
Great job. All that inning wonderful.
Thanks, buddy. 2, 7.
Now you gotta play test. You already played dirty water.
Good game, Alec.
Great job calling that in. Call to action.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I love your kind of game. Cotuit puts up a touch.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. Sam Niederman alongside Sam Brief, our entire Kettleers media team, welcoming you in for the post-game wrap. A 12-7 win for Cotuit today over the Orleans Firebirds. 4 lead changes in this one, and the last one belonged to Cotuit. A 7-run 8th inning off of the Orleans bullpen. It started with Ryan Reynolds, a leadoff solo home run. That really gave the team the energy, and then they just took off from there.
Yeah, that solo home run, while even though it was a home run, will go down as one of the more insignificant highlights just because of the cascade of runs we saw after that. It really gave Cotuit a mental edge because it's so different when you're trying to come back from down 7-5, you get the bases loaded, maybe you're pressing a little more. But once Reynolds made it 7-6, we saw the Cotuit batters ease up a little bit. They were able to relax, and for example, Peyton Burdick, when he came up with the bases loaded, instead of trying to press and knock in a bases clearing double, he sat back, let Aaron Oceanbine pitch, and Oceanbine sent him with a 5-pitch walk that drove in a run. So I saw the Cotuit ease up a little bit. Zach Bierman came in with that pinch hit 2 RBI double. It was wonderful. And once the hits started coming, it was a combination of Cotuit capitalizing, but also a little bit of an implosion for Orleans. A run came in on a wild pitch. A run came in on a throwing error to third base. It was just the perfect storm of really good baseball from Cotuit and not so good baseball from Orleans. A 7-run inning, and you couldn't draw it up any better. That's 3 of 4 for Cotuit, and they've totally turned it around.
The big moment for this one in that 8th inning had to be Zach Bierman. A pinch hitter off the bench, tie game at 7. The sun was going down, so we thought we might have a tie game if Kettleers didn't take the lead and get a quick 3 outs in the 9th. Well, Bierman came in, he delivered big time.
Oh, he totally did. My bold, we talk about our bold predictions. My bold prediction for this one was that the Kettleers would have a pinch hit home run. Well, they didn't get a pinch hit home run, but between Brady Smith and Zach Bierman. They got 2 pinch hit RBI base knocks that drove in a combined 4 runs. Excellent job from both of them. And for Bierman, it was nice to see the opposite field slice. We've seen a bit more of that from him. He's been in and out of the lineup. But yesterday in Bourne in the first inning, he had a nice opposite field hit. It was beautiful. Drove in 2 runs, just broke this one open. And from then on, it was just the cascade of Orleans mistakes and Cotuit capitalizing. A wonderful inning.
Mike Roberts, a happy camper, meeting with the beat writers Zach Kaplan and Ben Fisher. Mason Horodisky, our director today, and also our on-field reporter. The media availability, Mike Roberts, always a popular man after a big win. I'm sure he's very happy. There were a lot of things that were not really going Cotuit's way in this one. Some calls at the plate that Coach Roberts didn't like. There were a lot of walks from the Cotuit pitching staff early. They weren't capitalizing on Orleans walks late, and then finally the Kettleers come through for a big win. So now 3-4. This team got momentum, and now a big stretch the rest of this week.
Oh, totally a big stretch. And we can't forget some of the shortcomings in this game. That inning was great, but before then, Cotuit left the bases loaded twice. The pitching was a little off today. Part of that was just because Orleans came in so hot, especially in the power game. We saw Carter Aldretti keep his streak going. He now has 4 home runs in the last 2 games. He hit 2 today. Phil Clark with a nice solo shot. So that's not ideal, and certainly there's always things to clean up. But for now, for the rest of the night, Cotuit should be like, hey, we're fine. We won. It was a great inning, a great closeout to this game. But that West Gauntlet's super important. We know the success against the East this season. Cotuit now 9-4 this year against the East. But I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row coming up, including 2 against Wareham, who's first in the West, and 2 against Hyannis, who's second in the West. It's a big stretch coming up.
It's a big day, and also some favorable results across the Cape League in terms of Western Division teams. Yesterday, not so hot for the Kettleers. They were the only West Division side to lose against Bourne. But today, favorable results in Chatham, beating Falmouth in game 1 of that doubleheader 1-0. They actually swept Falmouth 7-2 in the second game. So a big sweep of Falmouth there. The Kettleers will take advantage of that. And then also Brewster, an 8-1 win over Wareham. Who saw that coming? That's a big game to get a game up on first place.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I mean, when Brewster had blown the 6-0 lead to YD a few days ago, and then 2 nights ago they blew an 8-1 lead against these Orleans Firebirds. So when I saw they were up 8-0 against Wareham, I was treading water a little bit. But nice job for the Whitecaps getting win number 5. And how about the YD Red Sox with a walk-off win over Harwich in 10?
Yeah, how about YD? They come back, trailed early against Harwich, 5-4 the final at Red Wilson Field. They had to probably battle some time with no lights over there, but it's the East Division leaders, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, who take a 5-4 win. Right here at Lowell Park, the Kettleers a big-time win over the Orleans Firebirds. 12-7 your final. The final line scored 12 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors for Cotuit. 7 runs on 10 hits and 4 errors for the visiting Orleans Firebirds. Winning pitcher, Stephen Schock, who came in and worked the 8th and 9th innings of this game. Aaron Oceanbine takes the L for Orleans. Next up for Cotuit tomorrow at Hyannis, 6 p.m. first pitch, live from McKeon Park. Can't wait to join you right here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. You can listen live at Mixlr.com/Cotuit Broadcasting. That's Mixlr.com/Cotuit Broadcasting. All the road game live coverage all season long right there. We'll be on the air 10 minutes before first pitch. 6 p.m. first pitch at Hyannis tomorrow. Should be a good one. The Kettleers and the Harbor Hawks. One more time for our entire Kettleers media crew. Bailey Hewson, Max Curran, Mason Horodisky, our director, Martha Johnston, our executive producer, and Sam Brief, my broadcast partner. I'm Sam Niederman saying good night from Lowell Park. We'll talk to you mañana. Kettleers 12-7 over the Jungle Birds. See you very soon.